welcome back to day 2 of my YouTube Advent calendar. Every day until Christmas, I will post a new story. So let's get into today's. The college roommate. Okay, this is a long story, so buckle up. I'm ready, bestie. Do your worst. When I was a junior in college, I lived in a university-owned apartment with 5 other girls. I previously roomed with 2 of them, but the rest were new. Sometime during the first couple weeks of school, I overheard one of the new girls talking on the phone with her mom. Her name was Kate. I didn't catch the whole conversation, but it seemed like she was slightly arguing with her mom and assured her that she was taking her meds. My ears perked up at the sound of that and was curious. As time went on though, I forgot about it. Bestie, it's not a nice thing to listen into other people's conversations. I would have done the exact same thing though. The 6 of us got along really well. We hang out together, went to bars and clubs together, watched TV together, etc. I was happy because I didn't get along with some of my roommates from last year and was happy to have drama-free year. And Kate was really cool. She was a dance major and a free spirit. She acted as our big sister when we went out to bars and clubs, making sure that we stayed together and watched out for aggressive guys. So far, that sounds like the absolute dream. To live together and also get along this well, it almost sounds too good to be true. However, around spring, things started to change with Kate. Our roommate Nicole revealed to us that Kate has been visiting her at work frequently. She worked at one of the student stores on campus, to the point that she started to hide when Kate would show up. She wasn't obnoxious, but just very chatty and distracting. In my opinion, Nicole should have been honest and talked with Kate. Tell her, girl, I love you, but I'm at work and you are very distracting. I would love to hang with you, but can we do after my shift? Or something like this. As time went on, it seemed that Kate was taking a strong interest in Nicole. Not in a romantic or sexual way, but in a single white female sort of way. I'm not sure I know what that's supposed to mean. Kate even seemed to get upset when Nicole would go out with her boyfriend Andy, even though she was the one who played matchmaker in the first place. At first, the rest of us didn't know what to make of Nicole's accusations until we started seeing Kate do odd things ourselves. Parking was always tight in our neighborhood, and the cops freely wrote tickets. That didn't stop Kate from parking anywhere she wanted. We were shocked to find that Kate had racked up hundreds of dollars in tickets. We also found later that she dropped her classes. If I recall, she even quit her part-time job. Meanwhile, Kate's harassment of Nicole continued and got stronger. Did any of you guys try to talk to her and ask her what was going on? From the other hand, if she dropped out of school, can she even still stay there? One night, Nicole woke up to find Kate in her room, standing over her and staring intensely. Kate said, "You look like you've been crying rivers of sorrow," and walked out. Was there any chance she was sleepwalking? That's so random to tell someone. Soon after, Nicole started spending more time at Andy's place. Another time, we were all watching TV in the living room. 2 of the guys from across the hall were also there. Kate was in the corner and started laughing to herself. We tried to ignore her, but it was impossible. Why didn't you try to ask what was going on with her instead of ignoring her? You guys living together, you need much better communication than this. Especially when someone behaving this odd, you have to know who is the person you are living with. I left the room at that point to get some work done. A few minutes later, Kate came in my room without knocking, sat on the floor, and lit some herbs. My other roommate Helen and I asked her to leave because we were working. She left, but half an hour later she returned and did the same thing. Helen and I looked at each other incredulously, then asked her to leave again. Later, the guys from across the hall told us that she was mumbling strange things about blood and doom and sadness, but still laughing to herself. I mean, I feel sad for her. She was probably needed some help. And yes, I can admit the way she is communicating is weird. But there are some odd people out there and they also deserve attention. After months of this, my roommates and I had it. The end of the year was only a few weeks away, but we no longer felt safe. I started sleeping with a poking device under my pillow per my dad's suggestion. We wondered if she had stopped taking her meds and her actions were a result of that. Yeah, you guys were putting stuff under your pillow and wondering what she was doing before trying to sit down and talk with her. I'm not blaming you for being scared and doing actions, but asking her side wouldn't hurt anyone. Or maybe even try to reach her mom. We wrote a letter to management requesting that she be kicked out, and all 5 of us signed it. Our wish was granted. Kate was furious with us, naturally. She said she felt betrayed that we didn't talk to her first. And she was absolutely right. You guys went from 0 to 100 in seconds. You gave her 0 chance to explain what's going on. You basically just kicked her out when she had nothing. She packed her things while we were out of the apartment. During the last week of school, Kate returned. No one wanted to talk to her, mainly because we were afraid. Afraid? You didn't feel guilty at all? Linda, Kate's immediate roommate, who she shared a room with, volunteered to confront her. Apparently, Kate was doing better and seemed to start taking her meds again. She spoke with a level head. She never mentioned why stopped taking them in the first place. She also had planned to re-enroll in the classes she dropped next year. Looking back, I wonder if we could have handled things differently. In my opinion, you guys handled things the worst way, how it's humanly possible. She was going through something very difficult, and you guys gave her 0 chance. You kicked her out from her living situation before even trying to talk to her even once. And after all of that, you're afraid to talk to her still. You don't feel guilty. You're afraid. And you ask Reddit if you could have handled this better. You maybe should think about how to apologize. Because the way you guys got rid of her without asking any question, it's honestly really heartless. Perhaps if we had confronted Kate about her sudden change in behavior, she may have realized the downward spiral she was going. And surely there was a better alternative than gang up on her and kick her out. Well, at least you realized that. Maybe you should now start thinking about apologizing. But we were just young girls, and although Nicole and I were psych majors, it didn't mean we were experts on mental health. You guys were psych majors and you didn't think about talking to her first? If you're gonna start to work in your education in the future, how are you gonna handle the real patients? They gonna act weird and you're gonna kick them out from the session, or how are you gonna handle that? We were just scared young girls and didn't want her near us anymore. Who needs enemies when people have friends like this? The way you ended this story, it still shows that you have 0 empathy about the situation. I mean, you're a psych major. I would assume you know what is that condition when people have no empathy. I'm surprised the university didn't remove her from the apartment since she dropped her classes. That part was kind of weird to me as well. But Opie said it in the comments that it was probably because it was close to the end of the year. Finding a way to contact her mom probably would have been the best route, but it's easy for me to say as an adult. I had no idea what I was doing when I was in college and have since learned to have a lot more empathy. It sounds like you and your roommates did the best you could at the time. Yeah, I understand the circumstances, it was extreme. The thing that bothers me though is they didn't even try to talk to her. And I also agree they should have tried to contact her mom. But if they couldn't do that, they could have done to the school. And the school could have contacted the mom. But instead of that, they went to the most extreme solution without asking one question. Maybe I'm being too harsh with Opie and her roommates, but I still feel like everybody deserves a conversation. I'm glad you have the compassion to look back and recognize Kate was struggling. Watching someone deal with psychosis is scary and confusing, so I can understand why it felt dangerous. If it helps, mentally ill individuals are far more likely to be victims of violent crimes than perpetrators. I completely agree with this. The thing is, I only can think with my own head. And what I know, I would have go completely different route in this situation. I really hope that Kate is in a better situation nowadays and that she has way better friends. This was the second story of our Christmas Advent calendar. If you enjoyed, please subscribe and see you tomorrow.